Right, Adam. So before we start, our strategic management LO3. So you are giving the, an idea that, the some developers, in your work area, they were talking about the web services. Yeah.
Yep.
So like, it's a hot topic. Yeah. And but only useful, like I said, that when more than one service providers, yeah, they want to participate, then the concept of the web services would be useful, because it would give kind of a platform independent, and platform independent in a sense, no matter the whatever the servers they are implemented, their clients could be any platform, and those could be composed. Yeah, that's a one point. Second thing, when it comes to the uh, you know what we are talking about, the second thing, uh, semantic. Yeah,
Yep.
semantic. So semantic is basically the word, the semantically means meaningfully. Yeah. So the era, the time when the Google was not sufficient, capable to search everything, in a sense. For example, now we can search anything on the Google, and more specifically, even if we wanted any format. Have you ever got the chance to use the ABC file tag colon PPT?
Sorry, what was that last part? Have we been
uh,
able to use?
have you ever tried the Google, like file, for example, sorry, yeah. Have you used this command?
I haven't, no.
Okay, yeah. So, like, if you would, enter here, you would find, the general link to web pages. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like web pages, some of them would be the PDF, some of them would be like, here is a PDF, some of them would be the PPT, and most of them would be the web links. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But when you say, ask the Google to give you file type colon PPT, yeah, this would give you 100% a link to the PPT files.
Wow.
Yeah. And if you would type like doc, yeah, then this would give you the 100% doc files.
Wow.
Yeah. For example, if at any point if you needed the uh, some samples, yeah, some definition, some documents, yeah, some sample, the requirements documents, yeah, some sample, the strategies or case studies, yeah. And most of the time, on the different research websites, some schools, universities, they put, the different things on different formats, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And always you don't need the web format. Sometimes, that you need in doc. Yeah. Like, I mean, as it is, for example, if any assignment was given and for a study purpose, simple, if it was doc, and assume that the type of the document would only be useful for you would be the doc, isn't it? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you just put this, into the doc. Yeah. You will get all the doc files listed on the Google.
Yep.
Yeah. So basically, what I was trying to say, that previously the search engines were not that much efficient enough. Yeah.
Mm.
And but now you can search specific file types. Yeah. Even you can, if you wanted to check, the exact source of a particular line, then how would you use it? The double quotes.
Yeah.
So the double quotes will exactly extract the information and the source of the information from where it is taken. Yeah. So that's the story of the web basically. Yeah. But when it comes to the web services, then the web services needs to be published, yeah, into the directory of the web services, yeah, the using the web description language, the WSDL, yeah. So it is needed by the time that a service defined by one word, for example, maths, yeah, maths could be searched on Google via calculation, yeah, via addition, via subtraction, multiplication. Yeah, like a Google, when we say one word, then Google could understand, let's say 5, 10, keywords against one web page. Do you
Yep.
agree?
Yes.
So you just need to put the thing into one keyword, and Google would automatically understand that to which item or the thing the user is looking for, and you get exactly, isn't it?
Yes. Yes.
In the same way, the web services needs to be extended. Yeah, their descriptions needs to be added a kind of the semantics. Yeah, so in the semantics you create additional information about the nature and the type of the service. Yeah, so then you need to create the ontologies. Yeah, so the ontologies, via ontologies you create the service profile and these things, and as well as the RDF is a framework, resource development framework. It allows you to describe the more things. Yeah,
Yep.
so that's the idea and the the research behind the web services and semantic web services. And wherever those kind of the research projects are, let's say a kind of the sky scanner website. Did you ever get the chance to see the sky scanner?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've used it.
So yeah, did you realize that how it is capable to extract your intention, your required date from all of the airlines? Yeah, it gives you exact schedules. Yeah, it gives you exact price, and only you need to click on it, and it would allow you to buy even from third parties. Yeah, and none of the doubt exists. You are directly dealing with the the actual airline via agent. Yeah, but everything goes as it is. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How it is possible? It is possible because of the web services. The way the sky scanner is accessing those sites, yeah,
Yep.
is via the web services, because the web services, they have the a kind of feature of service oriented architecture, because it uses these universally agreeable protocol, SOAP, you know simple object access protocol. Yeah, and obviously the web service description itself, and wherever they try to store the things, which is the UDDI, the registry. So that's the idea behind. Yeah, so probably at the moment, if you are, for example, a developer of the conventional web development, should be fine. But if you want to involve into the heterogeneous type of applications, where the clients and the combination or the composition of different things involved, then you would be looking at the web services. And obviously it's a big framework. Yeah, probably you can select the web services in the .NET, you could select the web services in the Java, yeah, and many other technologies. And it's not, and they are mature indeed. Yeah,
Yep. Yep.
they are mature in a sense that still the applications are being developed. Even the hotels and other things, for example, that tomorrow, if you want to launch a website like a booking.com, yeah, then you would be doing this via kind of web service, right? So there's a technology basically, but obviously it's for them who are the core programmers, yeah, and born to program, and they have a life left, to program. We, like, in the age, in the middle age, or maybe in the quarter of the age, won't be able to do the lots of programming, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so that was the idea behind. Now let us start the strategic management information system, LO3. So previously we were able to discuss about, let me see, yeah. So LO1 was under, something about the information systems, and what the organizational strategies are in simple ways, role of the information systems, yeah, and second LO was based on the tools and, the strategies, tools and techniques basically, yeah, that how the techniques are used, yeah, and the tools in order to get the competitive advantage, yeah. So like Porter's forces, and the BCG matrix, SWOT analysis, special analysis, and many more things we discussed, yeah. And basically in those tools and techniques, they highlighted the important characteristics of the organization's strategies, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, in order to achieve the goals. Yeah. Now the next, another topic we didn't discuss, yeah, was information system integration strategies, like horizontal one and the vertical one, star integration. Those I have added into the PPT, yeah, and I will double check that those PPTs, would have been added and converted into the PDF, as well as available on the Moodle, yeah. So along with today's LO, yeah. So you can have a look. That's just, the conventional software, idea, that if you want to do it like, the vertically or horizontally, easy to understand, yeah. So like I said, yeah. So previously there were a lot of topics, yeah. Now today we'll talk about the strategy formulation, yeah. And in the next LO we will be talking about the strategy implementation, yeah. So let us start with the strategy formulation. So the unit M is same, yeah. So let us first formally define what the strategy is, yeah. And previously I noticed that we didn't discuss that in detail, yeah. And however, the strategy is to achieve the competitive, advantage. But let's see what is the strategy. There's an action, yeah, that managers take to attain one or more organization goals, yeah. So we'll be looking at the goal. We want to get something, yeah, and when we really want to get something, then take the action. What actions you need to do, yeah, is a strategy, right? There's a simple English, yeah, and it has a kind of, the business point of view, the definition, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, like English perspective is different, yeah, and the business perspective is different. So from business perspective, the strategy is to achieve the goals, and to achieve the goals, when you really want to take some steps, initiatives, then that's called the strategy, yeah. As well as further defined as general directions set for the company and its various components to achieve the desired state in the future, yeah. That's the second definition, yeah. So you need to think about the directions, the instructions within the strategy. So strategy results from the detailed strategic planning process. So it's not the simple thing, but you have to go through the planning process for the strategy results, isn't it?
Yep.
So the strategy is a well-defined roadmap of the organization. Furthermore, yeah, so you have to take the actions. Yeah, you want to take the goals, and you want your organization to get particular, the status. Then you should have a very well defined roadmap, isn't it?
Mm.
Yeah. So it overall defines the mission, vision, and direction of an organization. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we will be focusing more in detail the mission, vision, and these things. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And next slide. The objective of the strategy is to maximize the organization's strengths and minimize the strengths of the competitors. Yeah, I don't agree that the competitors' strengths would be minimized, isn't it? But if you would increase your strength, then their strength would look like the smaller in strength, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
There is another case that probably you try to harm the other organization, yeah, the rivals, yeah, probably, yeah, the
Mm-hmm.
internally, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, but however, the caliber you want to achieve, yeah, and to rank top in the market, it is you which you have to make your goal. But I'm sorry to say that probably the word minimizing the strength of the competitors would only be the negative deeds, isn't it?
Yes.
Like cracking down their their problems, and focusing on their weaknesses and other things, and harming them, isn't it? Yeah.
Yep.
So
Yep.
strategy in short bridges the gap between where we are and where we want to be. Yeah.
Yep.
So too much theoretical, but indeed, you know, a lot to be defined about the strategy, and to being a manager, yeah, it would be, lots of options to explain and giving a lecture to the staff to make them, uh, energetic, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, feature of the strategy means if there is the strategy, yeah, then let us see what the strategy is, what are the characteristics. So strategy is important overall. When you look at the importance of the strategy, it is significant, because it is not possible to see the future and foresee the future without the strategy. Do you agree?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you don't think about the strategy, you can still go ahead, yeah. But if you want to see that where do you want to stand in the future, then it would give you a clear picture, yeah. And it's the only importance of the strategy which is can take you to the future foreseeing, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
So without a perfect foresight, the firm must be ready to deal with the uncertain events which constitute the business environment. So, if you don't foresee and you don't have a foresight, yeah, then obviously you would be in uncertainty, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Strategy deals with the long-term developments rather than the routine operations. So, strategic planning has nothing to do with the normal operations, but obviously the long-term one that deals with the probability and the chances of the innovation. So you can think about the innovations, you can think about the products, you can think about the new methods of productions or new markets to be developed in future. So anything, yeah, which you want something for the long term, that's the strategy which can help you to know its chances of successful, failure, or mid. Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, that's the beautification of the strategy that is significant. It foresees. It gives you the long-term planning, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. So strategy is created to take into account the expected behavior of the customers and the competitors as well. Yeah. So you would, if you will have a strategy, then you will have the, an examination of the stakeholders as well. Yeah, via the strategy, you should be able to know the behavior that by particular strategy, for example, increasing the price or decreasing the price, you would be able to know how the stakeholders and the customers, are, you know, where they stand, whether they still like the company's products and whatsoever it is, or whether they would be leaving. And you know even for example the staff, if you would be reducing the salaries, will you still be getting the good the staff? So overall strategy could be applied to the stakeholders. Yeah.
Yeah.
Over here it's for the customers and the competitors. Yeah. But every stakeholder would be affected if the strategy is in place. Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Strategies dealing with the employees will predict and employee behavior as well. So overall the last two bullets are about the stakeholders. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now let us see. So we have defined what the strategy is. Yeah. And we have discussed the features of the strategy, that what really the characteristics, the importance of the strategy is, and how it plays a role. Now we are going to have a look on the components of the strategy, what really you need to include into the strategy statement. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the strategy statement of a firm sets the firm's long-term strategic direction and broad policy directions. Yeah. So your strategy is basically the plan, and the plan is basically the policy and the directions that you want to take. Yeah. So furthermore, the literal meaning of the strategy is going to be elaborated into like a tree. Yeah. The tree, like a strategy, is action to take the advantages. To take the advantages, you need a plan, you need a directions, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. So furthermore, what you need the main constituents of the statement would be the strategic intent. Yeah. You should have the mission, you should have the vision, you should have the goals and objectives. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have defined what the strategy is, what the features are, and now we are going to see that what should be included into the strategy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, this is pure theoretical. So we are trying to, memorize the things as well in parallel. Yeah. So that, we should get an interest into it, isn't it?
Yes. And don't worry, Ajaz. I love strategy and things like that. So this is an interesting module for me.
Yeah, that's good. But for a time being, if we are trying to like memorize the things as well, yeah, then we will have a more interest into the topic, isn't it? Yeah. So that's why I myself am trying to memorize the things, so that at any point if we need to go back, then it shouldn't be the problem for revising in few just seconds, isn't it? Yeah. Right. So the components, the intent is the purpose. So the organization intent is the purpose that it exists and why it will continue to exist. Yeah. The providing it maintains a competitive advantage. The strategic intent gives a picture about what an organization must get into immediately in order to achieve the company's vision. It motivates the people. It clarifies the vision of the uh, it clarifies the vision of the company. Yeah. So intent is basically it includes the general purpose, including the vision and mission. Yeah. So first, the itself you try to describe its intent, that what you want, where the things you want. Yeah. And the next, we are going to mission. Now further we are elaborating, if the intent has got a purpose, mission and the vision, then what the mission and the vision are, right?
Yep.
So the mission statement is the statement of the role by which an organization intends to serve its stakeholders. That's one point. It describes why an organization is operating and thus provides a framework within which strategies are formulated. It describes what the organization does, its present capabilities, who all it serves, its stakeholders, and what makes an organization unique, reasons for existence. Yeah. So the mission is basically a constant struggle. Yeah. So for example, our mission is to keep the quality maintained.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the mission includes that the way the organization is running. Yeah. And we can say like it's only running because we have a good product, we have a the uh, you know good production, good price, and these things. Obviously, the mission in the English terminology, yeah, it tends to take you to describe the something to achieve in the future, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah.
But in the strategic point of view, yeah, it looks at the present thing basically. Yeah, the present capabilities, yeah, and which are being maintained. And so within the strategy, the mission statement is basically looking at the current status and the reason behind the current status. Yeah. So that's basically the concept behind this mission statement. Yeah. So like I said, that this is little bit the different from the English context, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Now the next is uh, furthermore, the mission has a features. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The mission must be feasible and attainable. Yeah. It should be possible to achieve it. So mission, like I said, a constant ongoing process that leads to, that is under the government governing strategy. So you need to look at that. Whatever you are going through, it must be feasible. It must be clear. Your mission should be inspiring. Yeah. Your mission should be precise. Yeah. It should be unique. It should be analytical. It should be credible. So that the stakeholder should be able to believe on it. Yeah. So somehow it's uh, achieving the future things, but mission is continued. The process, right?
Yep, that's right. Yeah.
Now the vision statement identifies where the organization's wants or intends to be in future. Yeah, like the literal meaning of the mission and the vision is little bit different, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. So the vision, by means of the strategy, they are thinking where we are and where we want, to be in the future. Yeah. Like it could be described into under the mission, but I'm sorry, the context I seen this, on different sources of information. The mission by them is, the continuous progress, and the activities and the vision is, by looking at the present and intending for the future. Yeah. So further, you can study furthermore, and you will see the difference, the way they have given these meanings. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it is again, important that the convention they have been using for these terms, we will have to follow it, isn't it? Yeah. Or where, yeah. So where the organizations are intends to be in future, or where it should be to meet their needs. Yeah.
Yep.
To meet the needs of the stakeholders. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It describes dreams and aspirations for future. So again, the features of the vision, those should be the unambiguous, clear, it harmonize, it should match with the organization culture and values. The dreams and the aspirations must be rational and realistic. Vision statement, a vision statement should be shorter so that they are easier to memorize. Yeah. So now we are coming back. We are talking about the components. So the components include the intent, the vision, and the mission. Yeah. And the last one is the goals and objectives. Yeah.
Yep.
So maybe the four things into the statement. So any idea between the differentiation between the goals and the objectives?
Yeah. So a goal is like something that you aspire to achieve.
Yeah.
And an objective is what you want to achieve, or how you'll achieve it.
Yeah. So how you want to achieve, and in which way, and it could be the way, could be the route, way could be the timing, anything. Yeah. So the fourth part of the strategy statement is the goals and objectives. The goal is a description of the destination. Yeah. What you want to achieve. Yeah. Or where you want to reach theoretically. Yeah. And objective is that how you want to get in there to your goal. Yeah. A goal is a desired future state or objective that an organization tries to achieve. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Goals specify in particular what must be done if an organization is to attain mission or vision. Yeah. So like a like mission and the vision, like, if you want to see your organization, how well it is being performing, like what is its mission, and
Yeah.
at what vision they want to reach. Yeah. So
Yes.
their goal is, for example, their goal is that their mission as well as vision should be, let's say, in that particular state. For example, currently the operations are not good, and although and obviously the our final output is not good. So your goal is that your operation should be good, your production should be good, and your sales should have been increased as well, isn't it?
Yes.
Right. So the goals make mission more prominent and concrete. Yeah. So if you have a good goal, then obviously your mission would be clear enough. So they coordinate and integrate various functional and departmental areas in the organization. So, like, if you have a goal, then you need to communicate your goals. Yeah. And all the functional and departments should have been made aware of this, isn't it?
Yes. Yes.
So well-made goals have the following features. If you want to achieve a goal, they should be precise and measurable. Number one, they look after critical and significant issues. Your goals should also be, one of the goals should be to look at the critical and the significant issues. Your goal should be realistic and challenging, must be achieved within the specific time. Those should be financial as well as non-financial components as well. Yeah. So the strategy components we discussed: the intent, the mission, and the vision, and the last one is the goals and the objectives. So you should have a goal to achieve achieve the objectives. So obviously, your goal would be achieved via objectives. Yeah. Only and only when they have been, in a good direction. Yeah.
Yep.
So let us give it a little bit more on the objectives. So objectives are measure of the progress that is needed to get the destination. Objectives are defined as goals that organizations want to achieve over a period of time. Yeah. So the on which path, on which time you want to achieve the goal. So these are the foundations of the planning. Yeah. So if you have a goal, you need a planning. So policies are developed in an organization so as to achieve these objectives. Formulation of objective is the task to top level management. Yeah. So obviously, if you want to achieve the goal, you need to follow the objectives. Yeah. And only the top management can advise you that in which way you need to be to have the objectives achieved. Yeah. So effective objectives have the following features. There are not single or an organization, but multiple. So one organization will have multiple objectives. Do you
Mm-hmm.
agree?
Yes, very much. So yeah.
Because only one objective won't be sufficient. Objectives should be both for the short term as well as long terms. Objectives must respond and react changes in the environment. They must be flexible. They must be feasible, realistic, and operational. Yeah. So somehow, goals and objectives could be used interchangeably. Yeah. But it's very much clear that a goal, can be independent, but the objective cannot be without the goal, isn't it?
That's right. Yeah.
Right. So strategy itself, yeah, as an action, to achieve some goals, yeah, it should have some, the components. You describe it, you define the mission, you define the extent to which, with the help of the goals and the objectives, very well clear to you. Yeah. Now we have to formulate the strategy now. Yeah. So formulation is that the process of deciding best course of action for accomplishing the organizational objectives and hence achieving the organizational purpose. Yeah. So for example, you have the strategy, it means you have the objectives, you have the mission, you have the vision. Yeah. And obviously in order to achieve your objectives, yeah, your objectives want to look at the mission, want to look at the vision, but how and where and when do you want the strategy to be implemented is basically the formulation of the strategy. Yeah.
Yep.
So how you can do after conducting the environment scanning? Yeah. So whatever the environment is there, the environment could include, the analysis of the internal environment, the external environment. The internal environment would be the, all the circumstances, including the stakeholders. Yeah. External environment could be the external customers, the competitors. Then you would formulate the corporate, business level and the functional level strategy. Yeah. So now let us take some steps into the formulation process. So the strategy formulation refers to the process of choosing the most appropriate course of action for realization of organizational goals and objectives and thereby achieving the organizational vision. Yeah. So what does that include? That includes the 6 main steps. The setting organization's objectives. First of all, you need to know the objective. Then evaluate the organizational environment. Yeah. Setting quantitative targets, aiming in context with the divisional plans. Yeah. Performance analysis and choice of the strategy. So again, the formulation is basically a kind of execution of the plan. Like when we say requirements, yeah, when we say design, and when you implement, it means you implement what? You implement the requirements following the design, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. Over here you have the strategy. Yeah, strategy means requirements is your objective, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. And the environment is like a analysis and design of your organization, isn't it? Yeah.
Yep.
Then set a quantitative target. Let's say that how you want to implement it. Yeah. Then you divide it how into the pieces. Then implement and perform analysis. I mean test it. And then probably the choice of the strategy is the last thing in this process. But in the normal implementation, we go through the in the normal implementation, the choice isn't there. Yeah. So now see, let's do it formally. Setting the organization objectives. Yeah. So we are in the process of formulation. Before you formulate, yeah, or what you need to do within the formulation, you need to know the objective first, isn't it?
Yes.
So key component of any strategy statement is to set the long-term objectives of the organization. It is known that a strategy is generally a medium or realization of the organizational objectives, objective stress, state, and blah blah blah. For example, so first objective should be clear within the formulation process. Is that okay if I should skip this?
Yeah, that's fine. That's detail I can consume later.
Okay. Yeah. Then evaluate the organizational environment. So is basically the general economical and industrial environment in which the organization operates. Yeah. So like I said, the environmental scanning. Yeah. So the environment scan is the stakeholders, the internal one, the external one. Yeah. And isn't it?
That's right, yes.
Yeah. So the external one, your competitors. Yeah. And internal one, your stakeholder position. Yeah. Your staff position, their capabilities, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. So you have the goal to achieve something. Now you could look at the potential of your environment, your stakeholders, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. And then you set up a quantitative target. A quantitative target is, for example, you have something in your mind to achieve. You know what potential you have, the scanning, and then you should say that, okay, this year we want 25% increase in the sale.
Yep.
Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the strategy is not, especially the strategy formulation is not advising you any of, the qualitative thing, like, you could say, we want to be the best, product in the UK. Yeah, that would be a qualitative. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But when you say that we want to come into the top 5, yeah, brands in the UK. Yeah. So the target is quantitative. Or for example, we are the company which we want our company's sale is compared to the whole year, like 50% more sales during the Christmas. Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
a quantitative target is being set. Make sense?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Because if it is a strategy, yeah, like the managers and the sales representatives, they are given a quantitative target, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. So the strategy needs to include the quantitative target, and then you need to have the aiming in context with the divisional plans. Yeah. So you should have a kind of divisional plans and the category wise within those uh, uh, objectives, because you have the goal, you want the want it get to be done via your objectives to achieve your quantitative targets. Yeah. So you need to get it done via divisional plans by looking at all microeconomic trends. Yeah. So microeconomic trend is basically, the microeconomics is the study of overall inflation, price levels, rate of economic growth, the national income, gross domestic product, changes in the unemployment. So overall, you have the target. Yeah, you have the uh, you have checked the environment, you have the objective. Yeah. So objective, after looking at your potential into the stakeholders, having a quantitative target, using divide and conquer strategy, you need to go ahead with this. Make sense?
Yep.
Yeah. Then you see that how the performance is going on. Yeah. How the performance is going on, it is necessary, like a testing in the software production, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the choice of the strategy, this is basically the last step they have given into this. probably this could be the number one, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the best course of action is actually chosen after considering the organizational goals and organizational strengths, potential, and limitations, as well as the external opportunities. Yeah. So maybe this is a document basically. Yeah.
Mm.
And I did search, and I seen the choice of strategy is given into this in the last, but some of the writers say that the order is not the uh, itself does not matter, because we are the defining the strategy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So itself strategy is the strategy of applying the internal components, like analysis of the objectives, the analysis of the target, the analysis of the divide plan, isn't it?
Yes, yeah.
So it's a sixth and the final one, but overall, yeah, this could be a full combination of the strategy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what we discussed today, we discussed the what the strategy is. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
is basically the actions need to be taken in order to achieve the goals. Yeah, strategy itself is important. Yeah, it has worth to implement it. Yeah, the statement itself should have purpose, mission, and vision, and the goals. Strategy. How you need to apply? Yeah, you need to apply using uh, you know first you need to have some clear objectives, look at the environment, set up a quantitative target, then divide it, perform it, and overall the way you have done it's kind of uh, your chosen strategy. Yeah. Right.
Yes, yes, that's correct.
Okay. So that's about we discussed today, and in the next session we will be talking about the implementation of the strategy and performance of the strategy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So anything else you want to ask today?
Yeah, I wanted to discuss the next module and the sessions for the rest of the year.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know if you want to stop
Okay.
the
Yeah.
recording.
Yeah. I've seen your email, and so next is let me stop the recording. Yeah, and then we finalize.